Okay, so I'm here with Gavin and Ashley at Data Center World, and just be good to understand a little bit about what you're showing at the event, what you're talking about to customers.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we're showcasing safe system of work. That's what we specialise in, which is putting the isolations in place at the start of the project. We control all the isolations, all the permits from construction into commissioning, and then eventually hand over to the client. So today we're showcasing our new software, Global Safe System of Work, which is an electronic format of isolations, permit of works. So the traditional paper-based system, we've merged the best practices from the offshore industry and the onshore industry and come up with this software which we're really excited to launch to the data center industry.
And yeah, you mentioned the offshore industry because I think that's where you came from. So just compare and contrast, because obviously offshore industry, very, very safety conscious. How do you find the data center industry in comparison, if you like?
If we're honest, it's still probably stuck back in times a little bit. So it's manual paper-based, where oil and gas is electronic permit to work, and we're seeing that it's needed onshore. It's time-saving, it's safer, it can be tracked. So we think there's a big market for this software, which will improve a lot of things, you know.
And in terms of the conversations you're having, are you sort of, shall we say, pushing on an open door, or some people saying, I don't quite get what you're talking, just how you're being received?
Yeah, so a bit of both. The people who understand it are like, this is needed, but it's getting it to the right decision makers to say, yeah, go for it, because quite often it works what we do, but then there's incidents, there's accidents, they go, we need this. So it's probably more reactive than proactive, but we've had real good feedback with some big names in the industry.
And in terms of what you covered, do you cover the whole sort of life cycle from the construction of it to then the fitting out with the M&E and everything? So you're covering the whole supply chain?
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. So it can come in during construction, and then you go right through to operations and maintenance, because everything's stored in the system. So you build it up as you go, and then you hand it over to operations, and everything's there. You know, any issues you've found, all your test sheets, all your equipment, so it can be carried over into the maintenance. Yeah.
And clearly there's an AI boom at the moment, which means that there are, I won't say ignorant people, but people with maybe less experience of data centers all sort of piling into the space. Does that create particular safety challenges because they're not maybe familiar with those type of environments that come from different sectors? Is that?
Yeah, I think we talked about that last week on the panel, Phil, and safe system of work on a lot of projects. We believe it should be embedded from day one on the project. However, we have seen like a lot of operators come in and sort of try and rush the safe system of work. So there's not as much meticulous planning we see on a lot of projects. We're trying to change the mindset, and it is getting better in the data center industry, but the people don't realise to set up the permit office, the safe system of work, especially on the hyperscale projects. There might be an excess of 1,000, 2,000 isolations, 100 permits active at any given time on the project. So it's a lot of planning to go that even before you issue a document on site. It's a lot of planning in the background what people don't see. So we're trying to get the culture of safe system of work embedded on day one on the project, because you set a safety culture from day one, where if you try to introduce a safe system of work at a later stage of a project, you miss out on that safety culture.
And just in terms of the software, you say it's new. How new is it, and how well has that been received?
It's very new. We're actually launching it now at Data World, so this is our first launch. We're really excited. We've been building it for, 2 years now, Ash?
2 years, so it's just kept advancing, and we had a product and we're like, we can make this better, and we've got it to a point where we think we can't get it much better, but what we can do is add on more services, so the mechanical side, the maintenance side, and it's took a long while, but it needed to. It needed the blocks in place. It needed these safety features to protect people, and we feel we've got the best product out there to do that at a very affordable cost as well. We've tried to keep it down because we're from the industry. It's not about making lots of money off it. It's about making the safety culture right.
And presumably it's relevant for, again, all people, you know, the supply chain right the way through from sort of the construction folks to the data center owners, operators, and they all sort of theoretically will use it together, and therefore they'll all know where they're at.
Yeah, so I think also it's a good planning tool. So as you learn about the system, you can pull it up from a project side, you can view your project worldwide as a client, and you can go in and everything's embedded. So, you know, from that side, it's a planning tool, it's a safety tool, and it's keeping everybody accountable to what they're doing, which is the main thing, you know.
And maybe just finally, clearly you've been working on that. Anything else in the pipeline you can share with us, or is it more of the same, or what's going to keep you busy in the next year or so?
Yeah, I think we're just excited to see, like, especially where the software goes, Phils, and hopefully it will save people's lives, because we believe we've got a product there that has been built for 2 years, meticulously built for safety. So just excited for the future and see where we go.
I think one key thing to remember as well from our side, so because we've got two sides to the business, a lot of people are saying, we've got your software, who can run it? We've got the team of people that goes with it with AEP Global, so we can do the whole BAM offers and take that solution away from them and put it on us to run, you know. So from our side, we think we can find a corner of the market there and take care of it.
So it's available, people can either buy it and own it, or they can access it via the cloud, as is the one software as a service, is that right?
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly. Well, yeah, so subscription basis at the moment.
Yes.
And then obviously the team to go with it, and it's up to them. They can have their own people. And one of the questions is, do we need to use your guys? No. You can put it on your project, you can run it, we can give you the training, or we can take that whole package for you and say, we'll give you the people and we can do it for you.